What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 2 of season 1 of Delicious in Dungeon, and we're going to go full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode, and let's do a real quick recap. This episode basically kind of rounded out the characters a bit and what they're doing in this party. The party runs into another party. They decide they need fatty nutrients, so they decide to hunt down a basilisk, which is a snake chicken monster. They end up fighting it, and by fighting it, I mean they let Marcel just run from it for a while for some reason, just watching, and then eventually decide to jump out and chop off both of its heads at once. One of the members of the other party that was in the area got attacked by the snake, got poisoned by it. They end up feeding some of the basilisk to this dude who thinks the food is delicious to heal him. He ends up getting healed. They end up leaving. And yeah, the party does some cooking. They also decide that they need vegetables, so they go mandrake hunting, which are these little dudes. They're like roots in the ground that scream when you pull them out. Marcel, trying to be useful, pulls out a book because she has knowledge of mandrakes and how you're supposed to procure them, and you're essentially supposed to, because they scream, pull them from a distance with a dog or something else. They start kind of brainstorming how they can do that without a dog, so they don't have one. And while they're doing that, Senshi just kind of walks over, pulls one out, and chops its head off. And he's just looking for a more efficient ways to get these in a bigger. He's looking for quantity, not quality, basically. So while they're doing that, Marcel decides she's going to still try and attempt to pull one from a distance, but replace the dog with a big bat. So she sets up a noose outside of a hole where some bats are hanging out, ties the other end to the mandrake, and then gets the bats to fly out, pulling the mandrake out of the ground while it's screaming. The bat freaks out, flies into her. She has a problem for a while where she's just not. She's shell shocked.
She's affected by the mandrake scream.
Yeah. And she's just kind of out of it for a while, kind of talking about how she wants to be useful, and Chilchuk ends up saying that she is useful. They end up using not only the mandrake that she got, along with the mandrakes that that Senshi got, but also they use the big bat as well for ingredients. They end up taste testing the whole thing and find out that the mandrake that Marcel got actually tastes better because of the way that she got it. So kind of shows that her knowledge did come in handy. They move forward into the dungeon where Chilchuk shows off that he is proficient in traps, fighting traps, locating them, disarming them, but also picking locks. He finds the entrance to the dungeon. They enter. They enter a room where he has to kind of go through and find all the traps in the ground, and he's telling them where to step, but Senshi doesn't listen because Senshi just does what Senshi does, and starts stepping on all the traps at first because he didn't care. After that, just because whatever, he's just going to do it anyway because Chilchuk yelled at him basically. And while he's doing that, he finds a fire trap, and he's instantly inspired by the fire because the fire is coming from oil, and he's thinking about now frying food with oil. Chilchuk freaks out on him, basically saying, when it comes to cooking, you're in control of that. We listen to you for that. But when it comes to this kind of thing, you need to listen to me. Senshi wants him to show him where the oil's at. And the only way he agrees to do that is if he will actually listen to him when it comes to these kind of situations, and vice versa. So they end up procuring olive oil, I think he said it was.
Yeah.
They shoot it out into a pot. It burns Laos.
Laos, yeah.
And it goes into Senshi's pot. Senshi's thumb is just in it, and he can tell it's 180 degrees, but it's not hurting him. He ends up basically not only using the trap for fire to Chilchuk, but also he leaves him to cook, and eventually kind of teaches him how he's supposed to cook properly. And yeah, they fry food, they eat it, and basically the episode kind of ends with them kind of saying that one day they'll part, but they can exchange knowledge. Basically, he's going to teach him about the traps, stuff like that, but he can teach him about cooking, and yeah, we kind of got a preview of what everybody's kind of good at, except for Laios.
He's just the leader.
He's just the leader, and he also at one point just jumped out and just screamed at the basilisk like a nutcase. Yeah, so that was that episode. A lot of things happened in this. What do we think?
I mean, it was a fun episode. I was getting a little worried because they were still kind of going with the shtick that Marcel, right? Is that her name?
Yep.
Doesn't do anything. And I was like, is her whole shtick just going to be yelling about eating monsters and being useless? And they were self-aware of it, that fortunately, and gave her purpose.
Yeah, I was like, is this like a Meg from Family Guy type thing where she's just like the butt of every joke? Because like I'm okay with that. I think it's funny, but at the same time, like, when are we gonna get some kind of like moment with her where we're like, okay, this is why she's here?
Yeah, and I knew getting into the show that it was going to be about eating monsters in the dungeon and whatnot.
And it is very much like that.
But they are at least progressing through. They even made mention that they're almost at the third floor now, and they're actually going through and doing things you would expect in a dungeon setting in a game. So the trap finding and solving and lock picking and stuff like that. Though the creative twist of them then using the traps as a kitchen, basically.
Using the blade trap to chop up the meat.
Yeah. Also, their interpretation of a basilisk is a little goofy to me because a basilisk is a lizard, but I won't nitpick too much about that. The character development was nice. Hopefully they don't do it for too long. I would like the show to just kind of progress. I like, obviously, the cooking parts because that's the whole point of the show. But there needs to be a story to push it forward. But so far they're doing a good job. And I just don't want it to get stale because we got, I think it's 12 episodes to go, to get through of it. So.
Well, it's only 2 episodes so far, and I actually appreciate that this episode fleshed out the characters a little bit more because the first episode didn't do that at all. It just kind of introduced the world, the emphasis on food, and introduced the characters briefly and gave a reason for Senshi to show up. But to introduce cooking and eating monsters, basically.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it's the opening or closing credits. I think it was in the closing. Has anything to say about the party? There's a couple more members that'll show up at some point, it looks like. So yeah, so far it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I think the comedy is fun. I do like the different character types with like is it Chill or Shilchuk?
Well, that's my biggest problem is they say Laosh, they also say Marshil, and they also say Shilshuk. But it's Chilchuk, Laos, and Marcel. So yeah, Chill, Chil Chuck.
Okay.
Chilchuk.
Dealer's choice, I'm going to just say with that one. Yeah, so Chilchuk, actually like getting to do something because in the first episode, he's been, and it's early in the show obviously, but he's been mostly just kind of like tagging along and like just echoing things that people were saying basically, or just agreeing and going along with stuff. And it was nice to see him like actually be a character as well in this one, and taking like the spotlight for a little bit because his character was kind of pointless in the first episode almost.
Yeah, I think they're all kind of pointless in the first episode except for the main guy. But in this episode, like I was saying, kind of in the intro, this did feel like we were fleshing out all of them and like basically what they do in the party.
Right. And then with Senshi, that guy don't blink. His mouth don't move. Like that guy just exists.
Just vacant.
Yeah. He is a little creepy, but he's funny.
Dude, he's the best character.
So I just need, I guess, like Laos and Marcel to be a little more interesting for me to love the cast.
I need Laos to be way more interesting. The best thing he's done so far is when he jumped out and yelled at the thing. Other than that, though, he's just kind of standing around observing things.
Yeah, other than just having a shared obsession with eating monsters with,
and wanted to save his sister.
with Senshi. So
Yep.
But yeah, overall, it was a fun episode. I'm looking forward to see where the show goes. So.
Yeah, I thought this episode was way better than the first episode, and that's to be expected. Hopefully, that it'll just get better and better and better. But I am glad to see that even though the episode did start out with like talking about food, which I know the show is about food, I was like, is every episode is going to be like them eating, and it is, but in a creative way. But we did get some character development, some information on them. Not a lot, but we got some. We got a lot on Chilchuck, which I was happy to see. But yeah, the overall kind of like the pacing of how they're doing the show is really interesting because I don't know what to expect. So in the first episode, basically they're like, we're gonna eat monsters. I'm like, how far can that go? Like, that's cool. It's fun. It's charming for sure. But with characters we don't know yet, and the promise of eating more monsters, I'm just like, what do we do next? But in this episode, I think we got a little bit fleshed out on some of the characters. At least we know what they do in the party, which I like. They didn't stay in that wooded area too long, which is kind of nice too. So we got a nice flow moving forward. We got not one but three different food scenes, all different monsters, all fun. I did think that the dungeon kitchen was clever. The way that they took, the idea of sweeping an area, looking for traps like you would do in like D&D or something, or Baldur's Gate, and I guess Baldur's Gate is D&D, but what you do in a game like that, where you're detecting traps, trying to get your party through, and turn that into, let's locate the olive oil and let's start chopping things up with trap blades and fire and stuff like that. I thought that was actually a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite of the food situations so far. It also is cool too because we got a little bit of an exchange between Chilchuck and Senshi, which I thought was fun because they're very different characters. And I liked that there was some conflict between them. Well, conflict for Chilchuck. Senshi was just staring at him. But at the end, they realize they have information that they can both exchange, which I think is pretty cool. I agree. I am waiting for Marcel to kind of earn her place. We got a little taste of that here with her experimenting with the big bat, but I need more because so far she's just been kind of the butt of a lot of jokes, which
and the loud one.
Yeah, and she's like super angry all the time, and it's funny because. I kind of don't expect that from a character type like hers, so it is fun. I am waiting for Laios to become interesting. I don't think he's interesting at all. I don't have a negative view on him, but he's just not doing anything for me right now. Like I said, him yelling and that blank face was funny, but other than that, I got nothing for him. And really moving forward when it comes to the show, because I'm liking it. It's a nice, fun, charming show so far. It's not super heavy. I'm not trying to pay attention to all the little details like JJK or something. I'm really curious to see how they go about the next episode, because this episode I was like, what are they going to do this time with the cooking stuff? And they kind of surprised me, and they did some fun stuff with like I said, the dungeon kitchen. So really curious to see what kind of creativity they can bring to the next episode in terms of what they hunt down, what ingredients they need, what they cook, how they cook it, and hoping for some development when it comes to the characters, Marcel and Laios, and I like it. I'll definitely we'll definitely be watching the next episode and reviewing it. So anything else you want to say on it?
I think that's about it.
All right, well, let us know in the comments what you guys think about episode 2 of Delicious in Dungeon. Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? If you're not liking it, what don't you like about it? And if you're liking it, what are some of your favorite parts? What are things you're liking about it? What is your favorite character? What characters do you want some more development from? It's only 2 episodes in, so can't really ask for a lot, but what are you hoping for? And let us know what you think about in the comments below. Stay tuned. We'll have a review for Solo. Solo leveling, because that's what everybody's talking about. And we redid our review for Jujutsu Kaisen's finale and whole season 2 review. So make sure to go check that out if you're wondering where the hell that review was at. We had some problems with the original recording, so we had to do it again. So that's fun. And yeah, we'll have episodes coming soon. So stay tuned, and we will talk to you later.